Wise Pineapples. Welcome to the Juicy Tidbits podcast, where my mission is to energize you, your team, and your sweet results. I'm your host, Christine Trippi, the Chief Fun Officer here at the Wise Pineapple. Today, my guest star is Ricky Kalmon. Ricky is a mindset expert, motivational speaker, and author of the awesome book, Leverage Your Mindset. Got my copy right here. He is also the creator and developer of the mindfulness app titled Ricky Kalmon. As an international speaker and consultant, Ricky is a visionary architect in personal growth and potential. Welcome, Ricky! Thank you!
Great to see you, Christine. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm thrilled to be here with you.
I am always thrilled to be in your company because you are awesome. Thank you so much for being here to help energize our leaders.
Absolutely. This is what we do, and we love it. I mean, this is our golf. I mean, people ask me all the time, what do I do for fun? This is my fun. If you call it work, it's not fun. And by the way, that small time traveling or doing virtual, whatever, it's still part of producing the fun. So I do love what I do.
Yeah. And it's so funny that you say that because I feel exactly the same way. This is what I do for fun. I love it. And I just love you because I think we're just so in sync with all that. I love it. Well, I'm going to start off really quickly with a quote from your book. This is my favorite quote in the book. And I'm sure there's many, but I love this quote. When we say, I wish, we're already admitting we can't. God, that's so good. I love that so much.
It's so true. It's so true, isn't it? Like when we hear words from other people and negativity, pessimism, even positive energy, we are so inspired or we are put into a negative mood. But we don't realize how much we do that for ourselves sometimes. And I'm not saying you're bad. I'm not saying that you should shame yourself or this is criticism. But you know what? Here's the big secret here. We're all human. We're not perfect. But when we start to sit back and really become more conscious of how unaware we are of our unconscious thoughts or limiting beliefs, wow, things start to change.
Yes, 100%. And it's so great because when, the reason why I loved it so much is because when I say I wish, I never really thought about it like that. I think of it as more of a positive thing. But when you really look at it, I wish is saying you can't do it. And instead, I'm always talking about the I will statement and I willing it instead of I wishing I will it.
Absolutely. You mentioned my book. I mean, that was one of the things that we get to in the book about speaking to ourselves with I am successful. I am grateful. And those, I know it sounds really simple. And many people have gotten back to me and said, Ricky, it's really simple to follow. And it is. You just have to execute it.
It is. I love this. It's simple, but not easy to change, it takes intention, it takes awareness, and it takes practice. And you can and I go through the 4 or 5 levels of execution. And I tell people that I get to that I am stage and then I fall off the wagon and I go back to shoulding on myself. I should do this. I should do that. So you can absolutely know, but you just gotta make the commitment.
Well, we can be our biggest cheerleader or sometimes our worst enemy.
Yes, it's so true. And then the same day.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm sure your audience, people watching right now or listening, they're leaders, they're in the service industry, and there's a lot on your plate every single day, not only to your customers, but you have to be a leader to your team. You have to lead within yourself so then you can serve yourself better. And then what happens is other people follow. Great leaders make great leaders.
Yes.
And every time I interview somebody, or every time I talk to a group or somebody that is really passionate about what they do in leadership and about the service industry, they talk about their team. I couldn't have done it without my team. Couldn't have done it without teaching them. And one of the questions I ask people all the time is, when somebody makes a mistake and you're responsible for that team, whose fault is it that they made the mistake? Is it because maybe they just weren't trained properly, or they weren't motivated, or maybe they just didn't care? And if they didn't care, are they in the right position? Are they in the right job? I think that we all have to care about what we do.
Right.
We have to ask ourselves questions on a daily basis. No matter how powerful you are, no matter how successful you are, I think to take yourself to the next level, you have to really challenge yourself with a question that provokes, well, maybe some uncomfortable feelings. I think we have
Mhm.
to, and you've heard me say this, I'm going to say it right now, right to your guess. We
Yes.
have to get really comfortable with the uncomfortable. We have to release ourselves from the familiar and
Mhm.
embrace the unfamiliar.
Yes. And I always love that you just your success zone can only be as big as your comfort zone. So if you want to just stay comfortable, that's fine, but you're going to stay right here. You want to keep growing and going further and building better teams and building a better you. You've got to get uncomfortable and get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Right.
I love it.
Absolutely. If you want a warm, fuzzy blanket to get you comfortable, I'll turn the heating pad on for you, but it's not going to get you anywhere.
Yes, and it's tough. I love Brene Brown is so famous for saying this all the time, having courage over comfort, being able to sit in discomfort and that courage. And what she said, she actually did tests on it, that the discomfort of that uncomfortable conversation that you have to have or whatnot usually lasts 8 seconds. So she says, think about it like a bull riding competition. You just got to stay on that bull for 8 seconds and you're going to come through it. I just love that so much. I love it. Well, you're also a hypnotist. And I know what people think when you say hypnotist, that you put people under your control and you control their mind. So tell everybody what that really is.
That's a great question, Christine. I started this business 30 plus years ago, and I really started as a hypnotist. I created a very unique comedy show that would dispel anything anybody ever thought about hypnosis. It was none of this or making people do things. It was a corporate show, and I designed it that corporations would want to have me back. It wasn't about embarrassing people. It's about engaging people and creating this high energy platform that also provoked people to ask more questions. How can I do this? How can I be less stressed? How can I be more focused? How can I become better versions of myself every day based on what they just saw on a live platform or a live show? My clients then said, okay, we want you to come back the next day and I want you to teach us how to do it, which spun my motivational programs. And that's 30 plus years ago. To this day, I still do the show and I still do keynotes back to back. And there are companies that hire me strictly as entertainment, some as strictly as an entertainer, as a speaker, but the ones that really do profit from it is when we do this huge program. And when I get down to it, I'm really showing people, and here's the real secret, Christine, I'm not the hypnotist in the room. The most powerful hypnotist in the world is ourselves. What we say to ourselves, what we believe. We started talking about this at the beginning of this call. It truly is. I mean, think about it. You get up in the morning. All right. You haven't gotten your mojo going. You look in the mirror. You set the tone, your internal thoughts, your internal voice. And then whatever comes out of your mouth not only frames your reality, it frames the reality everybody you interact with at your home. And then once you leave your home and you enter your workplace, if you're in the service industry, service is about literally the human factor. It's not something that we stock on a shelf. It's not something that we take pride in the technology. And yes, it might be a beautiful location. And yes, it might be exceptional when it comes to the highest quality of products. But people will come back because of service. The way you make people feel. And that's an emotional connection. And by the way, you've just hypnotized them. And so, yes, I'm a hypnotist. I guess I'm an unconventional hypnotist. Yes, I really always been about there's no secret here. The secret's in with us. Just flip the mirror. Look at yourself.
Right. When you wake up in the morning and say, I am courageous, I am strong, I do have endurance, you are hypnotizing yourself to becoming all of that. And that is awesome. And I also love what you're talking about the human factor and how you make people feel. A year from now, all the people taking a vacation right now, a year from now, they're not going to remember the 1,000 thread count sheets in their bed. They're going to remember you and how you made them feel at check-in and how you pointed out the really awesome things to do in the city. That's what they're going to remember. And
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you know that right now our industry is, gosh, they've just been handed such a hard deal in the last 18 months from the pandemic. And now we're going through all the staffing shortages. And now that people are being let out of their homes, there's so much travel and limited resources and limited staffing and whatnot. So we've got a stressed industry right now. So I thought no better than anybody is to have you on to maybe share some tips on how to empower yourself through mindset. Say you're having a challenging moment with a guest, or a challenging moment with an associate, or with yourself. Do you have a couple of tips you can share with our people to help reconnect that mindset and go back with great energy?
Absolutely. Well, we don't have all day, but I'm going to give you some very simple things. And please don't dismiss the simplicity of, while there's a lot of things that we are exposed to, maybe a guest being upset, maybe it's frustration that something didn't show up or an employee didn't do their job. We cannot control what goes on around us, but we can control how we perceive and we react to those things. That is powerful. So think about that. That's the number one thing I want you to think about throughout the day. How you react to the things in your environment. So whether it's the guest or an associate, or maybe something didn't show up on time. Yes, there are things you're not going to be able to control. How are you going to control how you react to those things? That's number one. Number two is, boy, in the service industry, you give so much to other people. How much do you give yourself? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to set a reminder on your calendar for 5 minutes a day. And I'm on 5 minutes put it on your calendar today, 5 minutes, and do nothing but sit there and breathe. Yes, just sit there and breathe for 5 minutes. And don't think about the to-do list, or maybe this is a good time to kind of envision. No, just sit and breathe. That powerful moment will clear all the clutter, the doubt, the frustration. Maybe it will bring on some more inspiration, what naturally happens on its own natural pace. Set on your calendar 5 minutes every day. Do it for the next week. Set on your calendar after you watch this video, 5 minutes a day for the next week. And number three is be present. Be present in everything, whether you're home with your family, your kids, your loved ones, whoever it may be. Be in that moment, turn everything off, so you can also remind yourself how important it is to be present when speaking to a coworker, to an employee, to your guest, whatever it may be. Be present. Really embrace that word. What does that word mean to you? Because I'll tell you to be present. It's easy command. What's the technique? The technique is for you to follow through, and you're going to define that presence. You are going to define that feeling. Go for that.
That's awesome. 3 great tips. I love those. And I love the setting the calendar invite to breathe, because I could just see myself as a general manager walking the halls, inspecting rooms and whatnot. And you get that little bing. And literally, even if you're just like, you see it and it just gives you one breath, one, it's enough. That little bing and seeing it is enough to recollect yourself. I love that.
Listen, Christine, professional athletes, golfers, musicians, people that I'm sure everybody admires, the superstars, all understand the power of being more mindful, to controlling our thoughts, to creating a now moment. And if they can do it to exceed their own expectations, why can't we do it every single day? And there is no good reason why you can't.
Yes. And I love from your book, about the whole I am statements. You could even take a moment where you just had a really rough interaction with a guest or an associate, and you go back to your office and you say, you know what, I'm going to do 3 I am statements. I am patient. I am forgiving. Whatever that moment needs to get through that moment. And you're going to come through it better and be able to reset your mind by just making even just 3 I am statements. I love that too. That's awesome. Love it, love it, love it. And even when you were talking about it, I felt like I was being hypnotized.
You were.
Ricky Ricky has on my phone's over here, but Ricky has a great app. I mentioned the mindfulness app titled Ricky Kalmon, and he's got this great voice, and a lot of his things are him. He can help you lose weight, stop smoking. A lot of really good things are on there. I love the app too. So definitely check that out as well. Awesome. Well, Ricky, you know that I am the chief fun officer here at the Wise Pineapple. So do you want to have some fun with me?
Absolutely. Throw it at me.
Well, you know that yes is the answer. So
yes.
No other option.
Yes or yes.
Yes. Okay, so we are going to get into your mind, Ricky. And I've got this or that questionnaire for you. Okay, so I want to know more about Ricky and what your mind is all about here. What's thinking in your mind? Okay, so here are my this or that questions for you. Roller coaster or Ferris wheel?
Oh, roller coaster.
Yeah, 100%. I'm so glad you're with me on that. All right, bacon or sausage?
Ooh, bacon.
Oh yeah, me too. Pancakes or waffles?
Ooh, that's a tie. That's a total tie. Tie.
Yeah.
Gotta have both.
I'll give you both. Okay. Comedy or action movie?
Oh man, I come from the comedy background, but it's like my go-to. So I'm gonna say action.
Okay. Can I ask you what's your favorite action? Can you think of one?
Favorite action. That's a tough one. I mean, I'm a big fan of all the Marvel movies. I will watch them over and over again. So that Jason Bourne, all the different series. Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. There you go.
I am on the edge of my seat waiting for the last Daniel Craig Bond movie.
Yeah, I should have said that first. Yeah, that's right. I grew up with the James Bond. You're right.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I only love the Daniel Craig ones. I love it. Can't wait. Okay, Spider-Man or Superman?
Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. Me too. I'm a Spidey girl. Burger or taco?
Taco.
Awesome. Me too. Beach or mountain?
A beach, right off the bat.
Okay, I'm a mountain girl. Seinfeld or Friends?
Seinfeld.
Okay. So is Shep Hyken.
Oh, there you go.
Chips or ice cream?
Ice cream.
Okay, I thought you'd say chips. And when you're working out, music or podcast?
Music, absolutely.
Okay. And also, Ricky has a great podcast, which I was
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes.
All right. What color makes you happy?
What blue?
Okay, blue. That's why your background's blue, too. All right. One last question. You can have 2 front row tickets to any concert you can think of. Where you're going? Who you seeing?
I'm stuttering because it's really a tie. It's a tie.
You get 2 tickets, 1 concert.
Oh man!
All right, tell me both of them.
All right, first choice, Sting.
Oh.
I've seen both. I've seen both of them multiple times. Okay. Sting and Elton John.
Elton John. I've never seen Elton John. That would be
incredibly
awesome.
Both incredibly talented. I mean, I grew up with the Police, the earlier Sting, and so his voice and the creativity and the art of Elton John is. I mean, these are 2 extremely talented individuals. I don't want to leave anybody out because there's so many other great ones, though.
I know, but those are super, super classic good ones. That's awesome. Yes. All right, Ricky, tell everybody where they can find your book, connect with you, because you are so awesome. I just loved being able to get to know you better.
You are so nice. Thank you so much, Christine. It's kind of funny. I wrote this book with the intent of never knowing that I was going to be creating a mobile app. So the mobile app is available online. So let's go back to the book. The book can be available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart, online. You can go to my website, rickykalmon.com, and you can get an autographed copy if you buy it through the website. But the mobile app it's my baby. It really is.
Autographed.
Thank you. Yeah. The mobile app is a complement to the book. So you can go to your app store from your phone and just search the title, Ricky Kalmon. When you do that, just download it, create an account, and then see all that it has to offer. When you have the book, and once you're in the app, there's a password in the book. We have to be in the app first, and you go to the section for Leverage Your Mindset Book Support Program. You will have full access to those programs, and it's absolutely free because the password is written in the book. Once you enter in the app, go to that program for the book.
That's awesome.
That to me was one of that's why I kind of hesitated. I was like, I'm so proud of this because just this morning, somebody got back to me and said, I've never seen somebody take technology of today and then add it to something as simple as a book. And it really was not this master plan. I just said to myself, how do we support people after they read the book or while they're reading the book? How can I be there for them? How can I be their coach as they read something? Let's make sure they understood what I read, or let's reinforce it. And by the way, once I'm doing it, how do I teach you how to use a technique to do those things? So, yeah.
I know. I love it so much. And it's like having your personal coach in your pocket. It's awesome.
Yeah, it really is. So go to Amazon. You can get it. You can get it on your Kindle. You can get it downloaded, and you can get it delivered the next day. And then you download my mobile app from your iPhone or your Android device. We're both available on both platforms. Remember, the app is titled Ricky Kalmon.
Yes, it's awesome. Well, Ricky, you know, I end every huddle with great energy because energy is everything. So every show we end like it's a huddle. We put our hands in and my guest counts us down to 3 and we say our phrase of the day. So Ricky, what's the phrase of the day?
I would absolutely. It's leverage your mindset.
Yes. All right. So let's put our hands in. And Ricky, you want to count us down?
Why don't you? Okay, sure. I'll go for it. All right, here we go.
And wherever you are in the world, if you're listening, put your hand in.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Leverage your mindset.
That's awesome, Ricky. Thank you so much for being here and helping to energize our hardworking leaders. I love you, and I know they're going to love you.
Christine, you are a rock star. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great one. Thank you.